Did you know that there are secret merchants in Grow a Garden in Roblox? Traveling merchants that are only here from time to time, and using them can earn you not millions, but billions of shekels in this game. Oh, and on top of that, there may be a new merchant coming out very soon, and I may have some leaks to show you about that if this interests you. If you want to learn about the traveling merchants, if you want to learn about the leak, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now as we are getting closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers. And without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. There are traveling merchants in the game. As of right this very second, there are none in my server, but when they show up, they appear right here beside the seed shop. And there are currently 4 different traveling merchants. The first merchant you might see is this guy right here, the Gnome merchant. He's a cute little guy and he has very interesting wares in his store. The Gnome merchant is a type of merchant that sells gnome crates. It is guaranteed to have a common crate and a farmer crate, but sometimes it can have a classic crate, an iconic crate, and these crates can be purchased with shekels. Now, I have opened some of these crates and they look like these guys down here. This little blue gnome right here, this little green gnome right here. They're nothing special, and this is probably the least best of all of the traveling merchants. This doesn't mean you don't want to gain access to the gnome merchant whenever it shows up, especially if you're after some of those rarer gnomes, and with the trading system coming into the game very shortly, perhaps you can trade cosmetics sometime in the future. Who knows? So for the time being, when the gnome merchant shows up, go ahead and access it. You might like what you find. Just like I like waiting for these reclaimers to come off of cooldown every single time because I need all of them as fast as humanly possible. How else do I have so many huge plants in my garden? Now we can talk about the second merchant, and this merchant can definitely earn you insane shekels. This guy is the regular traveling merchant. The regular traveling merchant is known as the Sky Merchant, and he looks like he is in a hot air balloon as he lands in your garden. Now remember, these traveling merchants spawn every 4 hours, so every 4 hours you have a chance at one of them. And this guy drops some insane items such as the Night Staff, the Star Collar, and the Cloud Touched Mutation Spray. Each of those items can put mutations on your fruits, giving them upgrades in the terms of billions of shekels. So if this interests you, keep your eye open every 4 hours for a new merchant to appear, and sometimes it may be that merchant. But he is only 2 of the 4, with the 5th being leaked, and we'll get to that. But the third merchant is really interesting. Oh, what do you know? It is the honey merchant. Do you guys remember the bee event? Maybe you missed out on the bee event. Well, this merchant will come in handy. And one thing they've done as an improvement, and I did not know this was true, apparently now you can give a pollinated crop and trade it for honey, not for 10 honey, no, not for 100 honey, but for 1 honey per kilogram of weight. That is so insanely overpowered. You can hand in a 1,000 kilogram fruit with pollinated on it and get 1,000 honey. And using that honey, you can gain access to amazing things. The flower seed pack, the honey sprinkler, as well as the bee egg if you want to get your hands on a queen bee. And believe me, you can then trade that queen bee for lots and lots of shekels. Don't underestimate that traveling merchant. You can make billions, if not trillions of shekels. And in fact, the queen bee can go for trillions. Well, that was quick. Posted a few minutes ago, this guy is paying 18 trillion for a queen bee. Hey, blood moon event. So yeah, go ahead, get your queen bees from that traveling merchant. Make trillions. But that's not the only merchant. There's another one, plus the leak. Let's get into it. The 4th merchant is the Summer Seed Merchant, and she looks like this, just chilling by your garden. And the Summer Seed Merchant sells all of the summer seeds that are no longer available in the seed shop, including the loquat and the pitcher plant. Pretty much going to be your only chance to gain access to those seeds now that that event has rotated out. But now, without further ado, we will take a look at the potential leaks of an upcoming Traveler's Merchant, and this guy is probably overpowered. I'm not gonna lie. Say hello to what is potentially a weather merchant. Take a look at this tower here. It looks like he's controlling the weather with a computer right here to do things to the tower. You can see it right here. And this guy, this farmer, happily controlling the weather. Now, a weather controlling merchant would be insane. Imagine paying either shekels or even Robux to put in any weather of your choice that the weather merchant at that point in time is able to summon. How about some disco? How about admin abuse weathers? That would be awesome. Now, this screen here, I don't know about. The first image seems quite legit. This image doesn't, just based off of the formatting here, the way these letters are bolded so hard with these big black borders. I don't know, but as you can see, you've got a meteor shower. Apparently you can summon a meteor shower. It costs one of those staffs, and it costs 250 billion shekels. I highly doubt that's the number. And a chocolate rain costs 75 billion shekels. I don't know how legit this is. Comment down below and let me know what you think. Even if you could choose whatever weather you wanted to make, I don't know which ones would be worth it. Things like rain, no. However, making your own thunderstorm, that could be very valuable. Even if it were to cost billions, depending on whatever you had down, you could make trillions if you're lucky. Frost, we can't even get frost anymore. The only way to currently get a frost weather would be to have a polar bear. So maybe frost could be useful. Night, not so much. Blood moon, maybe. Now, summoning a meteor shower, that is legit. The celestial mutation is insane. So a meteor shower might be worth summoning depending on the cost. But then again, you can't summon a meteor shower without having night. So would you have to summon night first to get your meteor shower before you summon meteor shower? Could be even more expensive. Aurora Borealis is not bad. I might pay for that because the Aurora mutation's pretty good and the growth speed's kind of nice. But things like tropical rain or drought, not necessarily drought. Those ones I would not want. Though I never considered, imagine if it can summon a bee swarm or a working bee swarm. That would be cool. Could the weatherman summon a bee swarm? And then you have the admin events. Admin bee swarm, a bee NATO? Since when was bee NATO a thing? I did not know that. You could do a black hole or a disco. Disco would be super, super clutch. Meteor strike would be nice. Volcano's nice. Alien invasion or space travel are both very expensive mutations. I would love to have those, but the rest of them, maybe the black hole, potentially, and potentially the meteor strike, because molten is not that great of an effect. Same with chocolate rain, not that great of an effect. All in all, would it be worth it to actually pay the shekels, pay Robux, pay anything for any of these weather effects? It really depends on the cost. It really depends on what kinds of fruit you have in your garden. For example, if I was running around with an absolutely massive bone blossom flower or absolutely massive burning bud, maybe I would want to pay Robux or shekels for the alien mutations or the disco mutations. Those could be really useful. So ultimately, it kind of depends, doesn't it? What I think is somebody found this leak right here, which is a legit leak. That's my guess. And then poorly photoshopped in this horrendous user interface with these terrible prices. That is my best guess as to what is going on with this potential leak. I'm hoping the leak is real. I'm hoping we get a weather traveling merchant. I just hope things don't actually cost hundreds of billions. It just seems completely horrible. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it valuable, go ahead and hit subscribe. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.